Welcome to the next video in the series. This one we'll look at the Excelsior Refit, also referred to as Enterprise B from Star Trek Generations. This video will follow a similar format to the Constitution Refit video, where we'll look at the shield visuals, including the Vanity Shields from the T6 Reputations, Phoenix Store, Zen and Event Stores, and also the shields in the game that have visuals. So first up, we're going to look at the Tier 6 Reputation Vanity Shields. So the first one we'll look at is the 8472 Vanity Shield. Now on this particular Excelsior, I have changed the cells to the Retrofit Alpha, purely because I do like having the permanent glow on the nacelles. So as you can see here, we've got the green over the impulse engines and on the nacelles themselves. Some green coming through on some of the details on the body and the saucer of the ship. And then we can see more of the pattern going through the saucer section. And again on the underside of the ship. Next up is the Competitive Wargames Vanity Shield. So immediately you can see all the yellow coming through on the neck there, underside of the saucer, deflector. The cells are standard blue, and then we've still got the red there for the impulse engines, and then more of the yellow coming through on the back of the ship. Again, you can see these yellow reflective patches throughout the ship. Very prominent there on the top of the engineering section, and also part of the shuttle bay doors there, and on the top of the nacelles. And same again on the underside, and even where the deflector is. Here's the Delta Alliance Vanity Shield, so the very green one, as you can see here from the deflector around the bottom of the neck, and you can see some on the saucer there. As we'll get the back, very green for the glow of the nacelles and the impulse engines, and marking the seam on the back of the ship there just below the shuttle bay. And that band of almost teal colour follows the length of the ship on both sides, and there we can see it around the top of the saucer, and on the underside with parts of the hull and the nacelles with this green glow round about them. Next up is the Discovery Legends Vanity Shield. So it very much looks like oil and water kind of effect, and you see that covering the full hull of the ship. And there's the light source changing, see it getting darker and lighter as we rotate through. And this shield does retain the hull material that you have applied to your ship. And here we have the Dyson Joint Command shield. So again, you can see the almost carvings into the hull highlighted with the pink, and same with the banding around the bottom of the neck there. And more so as you look top down at the saucer and the engineering hull, and same on the bottom. And here is the Gamma Vanity Shield, so the metallic purple one. Makes the ship extremely purple. You can see nacelles, the Bazaar collectors, and just the general hull of the ship. Now as we go through the light source you can see it shining nicely. And here we are with the Iconian Resistance Vanity Shield. So this one again, purple and some interesting designs through it, along with various patches of colour. Again changes the nacelles and the impulse engines to a purple colour. And then you can see the green and the purple design as we look at the ship itself. And again looking top down you can see the design on the saucer outlined with the purple, and same on the engineering hull with the pylons for the nacelles and going back to the shuttle bay, and same again on the underside. And here is the Lukari Restoration Initiative Vanity Shield. So this one is designed to make your ship look like a Lukari ship. So with the purples and the pale greens. Very purple on the nacelles, and a spectrum on the impulse engines. You get that slight sheen as we go through the light source there. And you've got the pale green on the bottom there showing. And this is the new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield. So again, very green when it comes to the nacelles and the impulse engines. Then with mixtures of the browns and the metallic greens and reds throughout the ship. As we go through the light source again, we get this glow of the metallic colours. Next up is the Nukara Strikeforce Vanity Shield, again designed to make your ship look like a Tholian ship with its colour scheme, as well as the markings it does on the hull. So we have the yellow glow here on the nacelles, lighter yellow on the impulse engines, and then a lot of detail with the yellows and the blues on the rear of the ship here. Same at the front with the Bajor collectors, and then the styling it puts onto the hull itself. As I look top down, you can see some more of the vibrant blues that you see on the Tholian ships there, and a little bit again on the underside. And here we have the Omega Force Vanity Shield, so the honeycomb here on the deflector array. Again, a bit of the lighting here on the aft, some here, and the different colour shuttle bay doors. You can see the blues coming through on the neck along here to the pylons, and a slightly different blue going along the nacelles themselves. So look top down, you see the different pattern on the saucer section, again with the blues there going round the top of the impulse engines and the nacelles, and some here on the engineering hull. And same again on the bottom, again you see a bit more of the blue there on the neck, and some more of the detail there on the rear. And here is the Temporal Defence Initiative Vanity Shield, or the psychedelic one as I tend to refer to it as. So a whole host of colours going on here. So we have the yellow in the deflector, a rainbow along the bottom of the neck. You see some of it on the underside of the saucer. Looking at it from the back, we've got very, very purple impulse engines, the yellow on the nacelles, again the rainbow banding on the back here, and same with the shuttle bay doors, and that rainbow banding continues along the length of the hull. And you see some of the lines here in yellow of the ship itself, and then as we go through the light again you'll see the various parts of the hull changing hue, and it's a unique pattern there on the saucer section. As we go along underneath the bottom as well, again you see different patches there changing colour with the light. And the last shield from the Reputation system, this is the Terran Task Force Vanity Shield. Again, notably the yellow deflector, some colour going on the front of the hull there. So the nacelles and the impulse engines, this vibrant light blue, almost cyan, and then we've got some of the yellows coming there. The yellow band at the pylon struts there on the secondary hull. And we've got quite a neat design around the edge of the saucer there, again following the colours and the yellows. Same on the underside. So the next section is the summer and winter event store shields. First up we have the Andorian blue boars. So it's a orange and blue vanity shield. And we can see the orange and yellow going through the cells and the impulse engines, and then the various pattern of the shield on the hull itself. And yellow on the top of the nacelles with the blues, yellow on the neck. Then a bit of a shine to it as we go through the light source. And same again on the underside. So next up of the Summer Store Baseball Vanity Shield set is the Bozeman Titans. So this is a grey and yellow Vanity Shield. Again we see the nacelles and the impulse engines changing colour, and then we've got the yellow band along the hull there and on the neck, again the rim and the saucer. And as we go through the light source you can see that yellow shine coming through. And same as we rotate on the bottom. Here we have the Caitian Claws Vanity Shield, so a purple and yellow colour scheme to this one. So we've got the yellow in the nacelles and the impulse engines, some yellow on the back of the pylons there, and some of the detail at the back of the secondary hull. And a nice shiny reflection there as it's going through the light source. Next up is the Deep Space Niners Vanity Shield, so based off of the uniforms in the 7th season episode of Deep Space Nine, Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So this one comprises of the reds, blues and whites. Again, very red and angry looking nacelles and impulse engines there, with the blues coming through in the rear of the pylons, and some of the whites and reds and blues there. See it more so on the side. And here we have the Denebian Slime Devil's Vanity Shield. This one's very green and purple. See there, we've got the green on the deflector and mixtures of the purples and greens throughout the ship there. And very green glow to the nacelles, impulse engines, lights at the back of the ship there, green band on the secondary hull, right along to the neck. And shines nicely in the light there. Next up is the Ferenginar Liquidators, a yellow, gold and green Vanity Shields. We have the shield deflector here, almost a gold colour or very faint yellow on the neck. Same with that line that goes along the ship. Yellow on the nacelles and impulse engines. Although the rear doors always seem to stay grey. Again, nice shine to it as we rotate through the light. You can see the pattern, almost like a tire pattern going around the saucer there. Of the greens and yellow / gold again. And same on the underside. And here's the Stem Bolts Vanity Shield. So a pink and white Vanity Shield. So we have the white on the deflector, a paler pink and darker pinks on the hull. But from the back, quite an off-white to the nacelles and impulse engines there. And a mixture of darker and whiter pinks throughout the hull. Again, get a pink shine to it as we go through the light source. Same again on the underside. Next up is the Vulcan Logicians Vanity Shield, based off of their uniforms in that Deep Space Nine 7th season episode, Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So it's a purple and grey Vanity Shield, so we've got the purple here on the deflector, and the greys and purples, various parts of the ship there. And the purples with a centre glow on the nacelles, same with the impulse engines. And we get a bit of a purple go to it as we go through the light source. Same again on the underside. The last of the baseball Vanity Shields is the Workbees. This one's quite a goldy colour with some reds. See there, quite a dark yellow on the nacelles and the impulse engines. Again, that shuttle base still grey. Seems to have that effect on all the Vanity Shields so far. With the darker reds and the goldy colour. And you can see a reddish glow as we rotate through the light source there. And the last one in this section is the Fek'lhri Vanity Shield, and this is from the Winter Event store. This one here gives you quite an angry looking deflector. Red on the nacelles there and yellow for the impulse engines. But a grey with a mixture of almost a rusty colour in the actual hull material. Reflects well in the light as we go through it, and you can see some of that rusty reddish brown mixed in with the grey there on the hull, and same again as we go through the underside. The next section we'll be looking at the Phoenix and STO shields. First up is the Alliance Vanity Shield, and this is from the Khitomer Alliance bundle on the C or the Zen store. It comes with the uniform and a ultimate tech upgrade. This one here is a mixture of blues, beige and reds. As you hear, quite an orange glow to the impulse engines, quite a vibrant blue or cyan to the nacelles. You can see the stripes going down the hull here, following the band along the ship itself. And have a look at it from the top down. This greyish colour here, a very off-white look to the saucer. The red bands along here on the secondary hull, following up with the lines at the back there. Next up is the Bajor Vanity Shield. You'll notice the deflector's quite a bit darker with the rings of the almost cyan in colour. Quite a deep red to the impulse engines, and then with cyan going on themselves there. Quite a dark colouring to the hull, very smooth looking. Bit white there on the Bajor collectors. There's a bit of a pattern on the hull as we rotate, and it reflects in the light. And we have this red banding around the inner part of the saucer and along the bridge module area, and same here on the struts and pylons for the nacelles. And again the same red rings there on the lower part of the saucer. The next one from the Phoenix store is the Borg Vanity Shield, designed to make your ship look like a liberated Borg rather than the Borg that will assimilate you in the show. Again, quite a small looking deflector with the blue, grey to the hull, and we've got the blue with the lighting effects and quite dark on other parts of the nacelles. Same again there on the impulse engines, and you can see some of the pattern to the hull that the shield puts on. See more of the pattern better here on this angle. Very much a hull plate style pattern to it. And then again you can see on the nacelles there it's quite dark, as almost if the light's off, and then the light starts to fade into the centre where it gets a bit brighter. Then we've got the red line on the nacelle there. And then as we look down again you can see the red line outlining parts of the saucer and the blue dots there, and more of the pattern to the hull material on the top of the nacelles. And again the reds outlining certain parts of the ship on the underside. Then one of the Phoenix store ones, the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this gives you the appearance of ships here in the first season of Discovery. Again, very white on the deflector, with a blacked out circle in the middle. Bit of a honeycomb pattern to the red impulse engines there, and then quite a nice blue effect there in the cells. White on the Bizarre Collectors there. You can see a bit better detail on the impulse from this angle. It's a light grey with a hull plating kind of pattern to it. So next up is the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So similar styling to the Bao and the Section 31 Vanity Shields. It's quite a smooth looking appearance to the hull itself. In this case we have an orange deflector with a interesting pattern to it. Over here we have very vibrant cyan impulse engines with the yellow on the nacelles. Again, very smooth looking material on the hull, and you just see some dots of blue coming through. And you can see a bit of a, again, hull plating kind of styling to the material applied to the saucer and the secondary hull. See some more of the blue lighting coming through in spots throughout the ship there. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. So this is designed to replicate the look of the ships in the rebooted Star Trek films. Again we have a darkened centre of the deflector with this light blue here and quite a light grey to the rest of the hull. In the back it's a very orange honeycomb pattern to the impulse engines, again the nacelles with a centre brighter glow to them. And the white here on the Bizarre Collectors rather than the awful pattern that does apply to some ships, as we've seen in other videos. Quite a light grey, very clean looking shield on this particular ship. Then we come to the last shield in this section. So from the Phoenix store, the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So this one along with the Bao seem to be very, very popular in the game. So again, this one, very different effect again on the deflector array. Very clean looking material applied to the hull. And we've got a red honeycomb on the impulse engines, and a cyan glow to the nacelles. The one thing this shield does do with regards to the Bizarre Collectors is it blacks them out. On some ships that does look okay. There's other ships in the game, particularly the 25th century ones, where the Bizarre Collectors remain either red if you have the mirror version or the yellow for the standard version. They remain unchanged, but for the vast majority of the ships in the game this does black it out. Some people like that, others not so much. Yeah, it's supposed to give it quite a sleek, stealthy look to it. However, with those very, very bright nacelles and impulse engines, it kind of gives the ship away a bit. And we'll move on to our last section of this video. So this here is the other shields in the game that have visuals that you can apply, whether you're applying that in the actual shield slot on your build or if you're doing it in the vanity section of the ship itself. So first up we have the Lukari Restoration Initiative Regenerative Shield. So this is a reputation shield. that you can get through the reputation system using a mixture of marks, components and dilithium. Again, it's designed to try and make your ship look like one of the Lukari ones. This one again, you've got the spectrum here on the impulse engines, the cyan on the nacelles, and a very interesting colour scheme going through the hull. We'll see that a bit more as we rotate through the light. Again, you can see that blue shine to it as we go through it. Same again as we rotate through the bottom view of the ship. Next up is the adapted M.A.C.O Covariant shield from the Omega reputation. Now again, you can see here on the deflector it's got a pulsing glow to it, a bit of a shine again as we look at the front of the ship here. From the rear, just the standard red impulse engines off of the hull material. Same with the glow in the nacelles. You can see a honeycomb pattern in various sections of the ship. Same here on the top of the nacelles. Again, this shield allows the material that you use on your actual ship to come through. And as we rotate through the light, you can see the blue shine going across, giving you that almost honeycomb pattern to it. See a bit better there along the inner of the saucer. So as you can put through the light, you can see the shine coming here. This is the Aegis Covariant shield. This is a crafted shield from your R&D schools. So predominantly you see this white banding along certain lines of the ship. A bit of a honeycomb pattern there to the deflector. And it's allowing your hull material to come through. Bit from the rear, so again just allowing the red impulse engines, and it's slightly changed the hue on the nacelles themselves, getting a centre glow. Again you see this white light band going along the hull there. And then so look the top down, you can see it going round the outside of the saucer. So rotate along the bottom there, you can see at the bottom of the impulse engines and along the bottom of the hull here. So this is on the Federation tune, and if you do this on a KDF tune, the effect is not white, it is reddish orange from memory, but again we'll see that when we look at some of the Klingon ships. Now we come to the Assimilated Regenerative shield. So this is designed to give your ship the appearance of being assimilated by the Borg. If you've seen the Constitution Refit video that I've done recently, or want to go and view it, you can see how applying the shield, impulse engines and deflector give it a proper assimilated look to the ship. So again, this shield allows your base hull material to come through. We've got the green glow here on the deflector, quite an off green on the impulse engines there, the green here on the nacelles, and then various patches on the hull to make it look like exposed circuitry. And here in this section, some lines here on the nacelles themselves, green on the Bajor collectors at the front. And then as we look top down, you can see more sections of the saucer having looks like their hull plates removed and the Borg circuitry being applied around the bridge module, again on the struts to the pylons on the nacelles, and same on the underside here on the saucer, on the hull and on the bottom of the nacelles there. And here we have the Bajor Defense Covariant Shield. This one you obtain through a mission reward. And quite a off greyish colour to it. Very unique look to the deflector array. Then we have yellow on the impulse engines, that Zion blue gone on the cells, again yellow here on the back of the ship. It applies a unique pattern to the hull. And quite a unique pattern to the saucer section, with bits of pastel colours on certain parts of the hull plating along here and along the cells, and same again on the underside, almost like a rib pattern on the bottom of the hull here, and almost like spokes on a bike on the saucer. So here we have the Counter Command Covariant Shield through the 8472 reputation. It's quite a striking shield. So we have the blue, green, darker green on the deflector here, and you see some of the almost metallic looking greens and blues coming through there on the hull. And green for the impulse and then the cells there. Again, this metallic, almost a greenish blue pattern to the back of the ship there. And again, same on the hull, with some of the detail being highlighted with this green lighting effect here. And as you look down from the top, again you can see this bluish green colour with the green lines mixed in with the white of the hull. And quite a metallic look finish to it as we look at it from the underside. Next up we have the Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield. So very Borg-esque style to the deflector there. This goldish band going along the hull here. And as I look at the back, we can see the greens on the impulse engines and the cells. Again, this gold banding here, and some pockets on the hull lit up with the green. Again, that gold band goes the full circumference of the secondary hull. Again, we've got the green. It's quite an old shield, it's not aged particularly well, especially when applying it to this model. And we're looking at it quite close up. And then we've got the gold band going round the saucer, and again just parts of the hull lit up with this green line and some lighting. And same again on the underside, very faint gold going around this insert into the saucer, same underneath the impulse engines and the lines underneath the engineering hull. And next up we have the Dyson Regenerative Shield. So this one, similar to the Vanity Shield, has this pinky purple markings throughout the hull. Again, it's just leaving the impulse engines as standard red, same with the nacelles, and just adding a hull pattern on top of your existing hull material. You can see the lines a bit better here on the side view, and it does extend up to the nacelles as well and the pylons. And you can really see it when you look at the larger sections such as the saucer and the top down on the engineering hull. And almost like a flower pattern on the underside there. Next up is the Iconian Resistance Resilient Shield. So this one's very similar in styling to the Vanity Shield counterpart from the Reputation system, just slightly different colouring. So this one's more of a reddish orange on the pattern. gives a slightly reddish orange glow to the impulse engines. You can see the pattern here on the hull. Then we look here, it's almost a very faint yellow effect on the nacelles, with a bit reddish yellow on the Bajor collectors, and this red pattern throughout the ship. And you can see that a bit more as we look it down on the saucer with its pattern, and this almost dark grey sections with the red Iconian pattern going through it. Same again on the side there and on the underside. This one here is the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield from the Nukara Reputation. So again, it's designed to make your ship look Tholian, and it's very similar to the Vanity Shield from the same Reputation. Now again, we have the yellow instead of the blue this time on the impulse, and yellow here on the nacelles. Got the blue here on the Bajor collectors, and again that almost stone-like pattern to the hull. And again you see more of that pattern on the top of the nacelles here, top of the engineering hull, and around the bridge section of the saucer, and again mixed in with the vibrant blues of the Tholian style. And same again when you look at the underside. So here we are with the Omega Force shield, again the honeycomb pattern to the deflector array. Standard red for the impulse engines and the blue there for the nacelles. Some of the yellow and a bronzy colour there to the shuttle bay. A bit of the yellow coming through here in the neck. And just a different pattern to the saucer. So the Vanity Shield had the blue effect, this is more of a bronzy colour, as you can see it going on here on the edge of the module for the bridge, top of the impulse engines there. Then we come to the prevailing innervated resilient shield from the competitive Wargames Reputation. Whereas the Vanity Shield of this one had the yellow, this is blue for the effect on it. Again, just like the impulse engines, is standard red, same with the blue on the nacelles. And what we see here is the reflective sections on the hull, blue, same with the neck, whereas on the Vanity Shield it was yellow. And we see a bit more of those reflective panels here on the top of the hull, same going round the bridge module on the saucer, and the top of the impulse and top of the nacelles as well. As we rotate through the bottom again, round the inner circle of the saucer, and at various points on the secondary hull, and the blue glow in certain light points on the nacelles. This is the Romulan Advanced Prototype Shield from the new Romulus Reputation. So it's given this green light banding and green shading to the hull. Again, it's left the nacelles and the impulse engines as the standard ones for the hull material. But here you can see the green patching coming through with the green lines of light on certain sections. Again, as we look down, we see it predominantly here on the engineering hull, and this green light band around the saucer, and the green shading to certain parts of the saucer. And the same again on the underside, and you'll see that green light in effect outlining the sections as well. back to the psychedelic effect of the Temporal Defense Initiative Regenerative Shield. Again, we have this rainbow spectrum going on the hull. Same with the effect of the deflector. The back, we have the cyan effect to the impulse engines, and a mixture of blues and purples here on the nacelles. And here with the Bizarre Collector, same kind of effect as the rest of the nacelle. And that rainbow banding, which as we rotate through the light source, you can see it changing as we go through. Same on the nacelles, and same on the saucer, especially around the outside of the saucer section there, along with the various patches they have on the hull, and same on the shuttle bay doors there. As we rotate back through, and you see it again happening on the underside of the ship. And here we have the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield. So, slightly different colour scheme to the Vanity Shield. So we have quite a purple deflector here, very dark hull material with purples and yellows coming through it. And we have the yellow on the impulse and in the cells there. Again, you see the purple lighting there, certain parts of the saucer section. And again, certain parts is lit up there with a purplish light, like the phaser banks there, and on the outside of the saucer, with the yellow lighting on the struts and the pylons there for the nacelles, and on the underside we can see some more of the yellow lighting dotted around the saucer. And the last of the shields from the reputation system, so this is Tilly's review pending modified shield from the Discovery rep. So again, it's this oil and water kind of effect. It leaves your baseline of your hull material the same, so you get the same effect in your impulse and your nacelles. And it's really just these swirls of colour throughout the ship. As we rotate through the light, you can see it changing hue, and more so in the darker areas before the light hits it on the underside. And here we have the Dielectric Oscillation Resilient Shield. So this is a mission reward from one of the older Breen missions, designed to give your ship a Breen appeal. This shield has not aged well at all. Hopefully it will get revamped at some point. So again, we've got this yellowish green effect here on the nacelles and the impulse engines, and the hull pattern is designed to replicate that of a Breen ship. But as you can see, it definitely has not aged the best. Next up is the Jem'Hadar Resilient Shield. So this is a mission reward for non-Jem'Hadar characters, and if you do have a Jem'Hadar character, this comes with your first ship. It's greys and purples, as you see here on the impulse and the nacelles, and then the purple shading on the neck and various parts of the hull. And then a bit of the shading on the saucer section there, and same on the underside. And last but not least, the Reman prototype Covariant Shield. Again, this is a mission reward, probably going to be one of the first ones you pick up in the game. Again, the teal colour to the nacelles and the impulse engines there. Got a metallic look with the greens, browns, reds. And we'll see that metallic shine as we rotate it through the light source. And same again on the underside. And that concludes this video on the Excelsior refit, also referred to as Enterprise B. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any ships that you're curious to see what the shields look like, by all means leave it in the comments below. Chapters will be listed below as well as the affiliate link to the real merch, links to social media, and a link to Casual Sab's channel. Casual Sab does a lot of build videos, reviews, news videos, and some live streams with some Q&As. Very knowledgeable individual. I do recommend you check out his channel. Until then, hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.